inputs on a deck. You got all.
It's a voice meter. I just started using voice meter again, which is
It's
a nightmare.
Yeah, it's hard.
A literal, absolute nightmare. And what's funny about it is like things like this that say they should go to the default, don't default.
Like nothing works. You have to set it every time. Like I've given up. OBS used to work when I opened it every time.
Yeah.
Now, God knows, I just go into the properties every single time, and I do it with Discord too every time I open it, just because it doesn't work sometimes, and so
I don't get it. How in this day and age has Microsoft not been like, Windows audio management sucks? Maybe we should do something about it. There's 4 different places to change A inputs, sampling and quality and bit depth. So like 24-bit, 48,000 hertz, right? Mm-hmm. Is what my microphone is capable of doing. Okay, so first you got to change that in the Focusrite hardware, which captures the microphone and hardware wise. Then you got to change that in voice meter. Then you got to change it in the sound profiles, and then you got to change it in the voice meter sound profiles. One of which will inevitably be wrong and cause crackling.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, now I can do this. See, this is what I was talking about.
Actually, I'm not even mad. It's amazing.
Oh, see, that one worked. Hello.
Hey.
You guys hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, there he is.
Why am I hearing literally nothing?
It's an epidemic. It's an epidemic. Nothing works. Windows 8 through 11. Audio. Just non-functional.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Hang on.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you. Great.
Hey, there you are.
What did you do?
I just had to. I basically went into the output settings in Discord and toggled it off of my headphones and back onto my headphones.
Oh yeah, I had to. Also,
we were talking about that.
I literally had to do the same thing.
Awesome prank, Barba.
296 episodes, and the audio aficionados here at We Were Gamers are still consummate professionals.
God tier audio technicians reporting in.
Yeah. Michael, I have my sound bar up and running again, or soundboard, I guess is the correct thing.
Hey.
Windows 11 and voice meter did not like each other initially, so that was an interesting proposition. But we're here. We're back.
I think you are crazed for having updated so quickly. That's what I think. Seems wild to me that people would update to a new version of Windows. Why?
I would never argue with you that you're incorrect. I made a decision and I'm sticking to it.
The old one didn't work good either. Why do you think the new one is going to be better?
I thought the reason, one of the reasons was I didn't want to redo anything on the computer. I wanted it to I don't like cleaning it off and doing all the things, and going from 10 to 11 seems like you're going to want to clean it off, the cruft of trying to update between those two is going to be a monster. And I thought, Windows 11 is probably architecture built more for the PC that I'm building than the Windows 10. It will still work on a Pentium 2 from 1994 architecture. So
I think you forgot about Windows 7 and 8 in between there, because Windows 10 will not work on a Pentium 2 from 1994, but 7 maybe.
I'm not certain. I don't know. Isn't there a 32-bit version of Windows 10? I think there is.
Oh, that doesn't matter, though. The system requirements are too high for that Pentium.
Not enough RAM. Yeah, you're probably right. Oh,
Windows 7,
man.
though.
I feel like, I'm definitely older than 1994, so that makes some sense. I was going to ask you guys, how many times have you woken up in random pains in the last week?
In the last week, I've been good. In the last month, there's probably been a time or two.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. I was like, this week I think I'm okay. I can't think of any, but You can move back a couple weeks.
Welcome to We Were Gamers, the podcast about geriatric gaming, wherein this week I woke up with foot pain that is not plantar fasciitis. Yes, I know the technical name for one of the problems that have feet.
I mean,
Feet that have problems? I don't know.
It's good that it's not that one, because that one's chronic, and I think you can't get rid of it, so...
You can mitigate and manage it. I have the other problem. That problem. But it is solvable. Not in... I understand now why what's his name on the Chargers always was down with it.
Antonio Gates, I think.
Antonio Gates had it, yeah, because basically if you get it in the middle of a football season and you ever want to play, good luck. It requires a lot of rest and rehab, is what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, fun. 296 episodes, you guys. And in 296 episodes, I don't know if I've seen anything as egregious and gross as the chili cheese keg. It's time for food crimes.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, this was a doozy.
A doozy? I would not doozy this. I would undoozy this.
The sight of it made me want to go to sleep.
I remember Michael makes a thing called, what do you call it? The cheese dip?
Oh, just sausage dip.
Sausage dip. Which is a good version of what they have disgustingly attempted here. But that you can eat all day, unfortunately, because then later you'd be like, why did I do that all day?
And then just want more. But
describe this thing that they have done. It comes in a keg.
Yes, it does come in a keg. So this is a new product put out by Hormel Chili.
Short-lived, hopefully.
Fine purveyors of American health food.
It's got to be a stunt item. Like, they're not making a ton of these.
Yeah, I think it's got to be.
It's related to the superb owl.
Yes. So you have a chance to win one for your Super Bowl party. It is a keg, like full-sized beer keg of Hormel chili cheese. So chili cheese on tap for all of your French fry and nacho desires.
I am 35 and literally getting a stomachache from you talking about it.
And like, look, I know that cheese comes out of those kinds of kegs because that's where the movie theaters get them, you know?
And baseball stadiums too.
Sure. But I don't need to see that. And I certainly don't need it for personal consumption at all.
That's the thing, right? I don't need it
please.
in my home.
Actually, like, does it come with a pump and stuff? Because otherwise, like, how are you going to tap this keg of cheese? Like,
yes, it comes
you're going to destroy any beer-related equipment you would attempt to use.
It comes with its own pump and spigot, and the spigot has the like beer pull handle on it, except instead of the little wooden piece that is normally the brewery, it just has a can of Hormel chili.
So then how does it, so like, okay, hold on, now I'm getting into the like logistics of this. Does it come with CO2 then?
I was just about to say,
because how do you get the cheese to come out? You have to pressure it, right?
It might be a hand pump.
It is a hand pump on the top of it.
Okay.
But imagine if there's some sort of kink or overpressure in that line and you try to shoot cheese out of it. Oh God.
Or like,
and I assume
what happens
this
after that cheese is exposed to the air for a while.
Nothing.
Oh, I guess nothing, right? Because it's all chemicals anyway. It's chemical cheese.
I assume they check your Instagram to see if you've made those tabletop nachos before they give you one of these.
You get an extra entry into the contest.
Yeah, something. Ugh. Can you? Oh God, cheese keg stands. That'll be a thing we will have to endure seeing somebody have done.
Please no.
I mean, I will not have to endure seeing it because I will stay far, far away.
It'll end up in the group chat somehow. I'm just saying.
Social media that talks about it.
Just might end up in the group chat. I propose this ends up on the list in don't make food for the gram.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is definitely for social cred, right?
This is literally a marketing stunt. So like that's the exact definition of doing something for the gram, right?
Yeah. I think there's something else that people have been doing a lot of for the social cred. And there's also a separate group of people that are doing it quietly and not doing it for social cred. Are you guys playing Wordle?
Oh yeah.
In fact, I am playing Wordle.
Are you playing it right now?
No, I'm not playing it right now.
It's like I know the word for today, but
Oh yeah, me too. I got a 3, man. But I don't post that online. Who does that?
a lot of people do it.
Yes. It is I have heard Wordle described as the sourdough of Omicron.
I see.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay. I had to piece that together because it was like, I like sourdough, but I didn't make my own sourdough during AlphaCron or whatever the heck we were calling the first wave. I definitely made bread a little bit, but not sourdough. I made like beer bread because, and biscuits. Oh, those were good.
Easier breads to make.
Yeah. Exactly. Wordle to me is Mastermind. Am I wrong?
It is Mastermind meets Hangman.
Okay. Yep. I don't find it to be a groundbreaking thing, but it is a nice way to waste time during lunch.
Absolutely. Yeah, I play it for like 5 minutes every morning or whatever. That's all, because that's all it takes.
I have a feeling there's going to be 3 different answers to this question. And I'm going to start by saying I play it hard mode.
Oh, do you?
Yes. JJ, hard mode being you have to use the letters.
I know what hard mode is.
All right.
Yeah. But it's fair to explain it for everyone. So.
Oh, sure. I might as well say it. I guess for people that don't know, Mastermind meets Hangman means you get a 5-letter word and you have to guess within 6 guesses what the word is based on putting letters in and seeing if they're in the word or not. And you get clues as to where they are in the word based on what you guess. Hard mode would be you have to use the letters you've discovered and in the places you've discovered them if they're correct.
Right.
I've cheated twice because
cheater.
Well, I got to a point where it was like there are 6 letters that could fit in this. You know, when you have like a word like, I don't know, creek, break. You know what I mean?
Count.
Yes, exactly. Where you need to eliminate like 8 letters, otherwise you're just gonna lose. I have done
take
it.
The L for picking bad choices, man.
That's true. I know, and I have done it where I just take the L. But do you guys also play hard mode or do you not?
I do not. I just play it on the regular setting.
Where you just
I also do not, but I have endeavored to almost never use the easy part of the easy mode. I can't say that I never have because I definitely maybe have once or twice. But nearly always I play on as though I were on hard mode, even though I didn't change any settings.
Yeah,
Right.
I do the same, and except for a couple of like extreme instances where I got into my like 4th guess and still had too many letters not ruled out.
I find the hardest words to be the words where like error, where there's 3 R's.
Anything with a repeated letter.
Yeah,
those
the
tend to be
repeated letter
ones.
is really the most difficult thing. And I think the I mean, I don't know if this is a strategy, but the thing I've come up with in recognizing that is my initial word has a lot of vowels in it.
Yeah, I do.
And so then that's a good one actually. I didn't use that. I've been using that one. I've been using audio.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's like the same exact thing with an O instead of an E.
Well, but the E is a bigger deal because then you get all the vowels, right?
You don't get O in audio. So then the next word often is something with O in it with whatever vowels showed up in the first word. So if you have like A, then you try roast next, or if it's I, you try moist next, or
So I've been doing a lot of I've been starting with audio a lot, and then from there doing something with E, and then whatever. And I have found that even though typically, the rules of the game say that you will never have a word that ends in a plural. So like You can't have a like reeds, like REEDS will never be an option.
What?
They don't have that. Plurals are not allowed. Never guess a plural unless because it's not one of the words in the game. The game doesn't use plurals.
Oh, I did not know that.
There you go. Your
okay.
strategy has been enhanced.
But it's got to be a noun, right? So there are words that end in S.
Oh yeah. So a word can end in S, but it will not be like a 4-letter word with an S plural or a 3-letter word with an ES plural. Those are not in the dictionary that the game uses.
So no, like foxes.
Right, but focus would be allowed, right?
No foxes. Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that next time because I could have sworn there'd been plurals. But interesting. Okay.
So I was going to say, though, that so you should never guess with a plural at the end, right? Just know that that's wrong. But maybe it is good to guess with the S at the end if you want to rule the S out or in or out based on your other choices, right?
Sure.
Like, okay, I know this is going to be wrong for guess 2 because I have a D here or an L or whatever, but I can come up with an easy word that has a lot of other letters in it that I also want to rule in or out.
Mm-hmm.
And, making that plural will get you to guess 3 where you then know the S is or isn't something to have. So that's another strategy I have been using.
Michael leads off with a bunch of consonants, I've heard.
I do. Mine is based on English letter frequency, so I use stern.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
I like getting rid of the vowels.
I find that leaving more vowels gives me more options if I miss.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's always easier to fill in vowels than consonants as you get down to it.
Well, that's Wordle, and now we've done it on social media. Hooray.
I think the thing that people are reacting to on social media is all the people posting their scores every day, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I text my score to my wife or something, but I don't need to be posting it on Twitter or whatever every day. That's a little bit too much.
Yeah, no, thank you. And most days it's like, well, I got it in 4. What's special about that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's always a fun competition to have with your significant other or close
I think
friends
that's
to be
the
like,
thing,
"Here you
right?
go."
It's like
The social aspect.
I think the social aspect between friends and households is more interesting to me. It's kind of nice to be able to play a quick mind game with kids or something. The kids help us out with
and it has low investment, right? It's really like
Sure.
not a ton of work. And so you could just give it to someone and they could just, play and come up with an answer pretty quick.
Yeah.
And it's always nice that day you get a 3 and someone else gets a 6 and you're like, ha.
And now we've covered video games for the week, so we're all done.
It's all we've played.
That's it. No. Everybody is also talking about that chili cheese keg and Wordle. And do you guys have thoughts about the upcoming large football game that Tom Brady is not in?
Well, I mean,
Praise
I
be.
think we're all happy about that.
I don't
for
know.
starters.
I could have seen him go one more.
I mean, he
You already know what
retired,
that's
so-
about. It's good.
No,
He is gonna
not
be
one more next year, but like one more this last year could have been kind of just like surreal in a way of just how is this possible?
Yeah, if he'd gotten another one though, do you think he would have walked away?
Yes.
No,
Really?
he can't.
Don't those guys like to go out on the top? That's why, most of them win their last one and then they go.
Oh, but that's never what happens, right? Because you can never tell when you're at the top. You have to fail once and then realize, oh no, I'm on the downward slope.
Well, what's interesting about that is
Michael
Brady.
Jordan has to go back and play for the Wizards.
Well,
you know?
Brady was having a pretty statistically decent season. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I don't know that you can blame the Buccaneers' loss on him.
No, I don't think
Right.
so.
I mean, they did everything they could to come back in that game.
Totally,
They did come back in that game.
right? Yeah. So I think it's become a point where like, does he want to deal with another football season to have a chance to do this again?
No.
And it seems like the answer is no. Thank goodness.
The mind is willing, but the body has foot pain randomly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think my takeaway of the actual game that we are getting is I hope the Bengals are fun. I liked watching them play. I worry that they will not get a chance to do any playing because they will just get murdered by the Rams defense over and over and over.
You worry that the Bungles will show up?
The Rams defense is very good and the Bengals offensive line is not. I don't want my poor sweet boy Joe Burrow to lose his life out there on the field.
I feel like they're going to dig real deep. One might even say burrow down, find another gear. How many other platitudes
Put
from football
it
can I
all on
use?
the line.
Leave it all on the line.
Leave it all on the field.
110%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really don't want it to be a Rams walkover. I just don't.
Yeah, that's also what I don't want.
What I always want when I have no real vested interest in either team is just for it to be a good game.
People say that though, and then when a game is like 17-7 and there was a lot of defense, everyone goes, "That was boring."
I mean, it depends on how you define a good game, right?
Sure.
I would like it to be a high scoring game because those are fun to watch.
Sure,
It will not be that, but I wished it would. You know.
Oh, I would like that too, but it's less fun when it's only one team putting up all the points.
Totally.
Sure. If it's Rams 42, Joe Burrow 7, because he ran it in by himself.
Yeah. I will say that it's going to be awful hard to displace Kansas City Buffalo as the game of the postseason.
Man, that game was so good. The ending. God.
It was so good. What happened to them? After a week later, and then they blow it. They just blow it.
Mahomes didn't come out of the locker room at halftime against Cincinnati.
I want to say like more than just him, but also definitely him. Like
they made changes to
and Kansas City's
confuse his
defense. Like what happened was not Kansas City's defense. Cincy's defense came out and made changes, and Kansas City's like, we're just going to keep doing this. It worked. We're just going to do it. And then turns out you need to make changes if they make changes, and so then it went badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham's going to get a Super Bowl, huh?
I mean, he got it. Oh, you think the Rams are winning is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. Why not? What's wrong with that?
I guess he deserves it.
Yeah, but Matt Stafford would get one too.
Matt Stafford deserving one is really the thing.
I feel like of all the highest maintenance wide receivers in the world, Odell Beckham being one of them, at least he backs it up. You know what I mean? Like,
sure, yeah. Like he makes the plays that remind you why he makes the big bucks.
He's the Randy Moss of our generation. And by our generation, I mean Randy Moss was probably our generation, and he's younger than us by a lot.
Yeah. Yes. But also, I think Moss was more dominant than Odell is these days. Maybe like when he was younger and on the Giants and was just like carrying Eli Manning to the postseason.
Yeah.
But these days,
two finger catches.
Right. Yeah. These days, he is a very strong supporting member that you can't just ignore because he will just back it up and torch you.
Which is great to have across from Kupp.
Oh, Cooper Kupp is literally the best player on that team.
The 15-way fantasy player that is every single position's best player.
Yes.
I wish I was still playing Dynasty because I reached for Cooper Kupp in that league, and I was happy to have done it, let's say. But, oh well. C'est la vie. Now the cat's out of the bag. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see how Los Angeles handles the crowd and the riots after in preparation for the Olympics.
Woof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be a big test, right? Just to see.
I heard a statistic going around, and I don't know if this is true or not. Completely unverified reporting here incoming. Parking spaces for the Super Bowl are almost $500.
I'm not surprised by that.
I could believe it.
Take the train.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, obviously. Like take any number of things except driving. But like, dang man, that's just because those tickets are already like $2,000 for the cheapest seats.
Sure, but you're paying to go get stuck there after the game, right? Either way, there's going to be a riot, and your car ain't moving.
Oh yeah,
that's my opinion. For a new Super Bowl with the home team in it, in a new stadium, I think people are going to get real jacked up.
How wild is it that the Super Bowl had never hosted a home team until last year, and now it's happened 2 years in a row?
Yeah, well, last year was crazy. This year, the Rams, knowing that it was going to be in LA, went out and basically bought themselves a team to get there.
But the Buccaneers knew it was going to be in their place too, and they went out and bought Tom Brady.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just more impressive that they turned that around in a year. You've seen the Rams be angling for it for the last few years.
Right.
That's unusual. I don't know. Now that I've seen every game in the postseason decided by a field goal and then the home team get there, conspiracies are not always wrong.
Oh, look, man, I'm here to listen to NFL officiating conspiracies because I think there are some. Like, I feel that there are legitimate cases where calls are blown on purpose because Vegas called someone or whatever. I feel that does happen.
Wait,
I don't know
my whiteboard and red string.
Yeah, I don't know as much about Vegas calling the refs. I definitely would feel like maybe there's some behind the doors. Hey, maybe we want this game to be better for TV, so let them play moments for sure.
Oh, look, that happens 100%. I don't think that's even I would stake large amounts of money that happens.
But Vegas getting every underdog.
Vegas. I'm just saying that there are definitely there's corruption in that refereeing area beyond just the NFL people like leaning on them and telling them what's up. Like, I feel that there are people in there cheating somehow. I don't know where.
I would honestly look at also, some teams like, why is this game within 3 points when it really shouldn't have been ever?
Yeah.
I do wonder. You're up 27 and then you lose by 3 in overtime.
I do wonder in some cases how much the Patriots, cheating scandals of the past or whatever, all that stuff that's like when the chips are down, are those is the assistant coach or whatever tuning to the enemy frequency and listening to the play calls or whatever? I wonder, does that stuff happen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta think you could.
This is not a bad segue since we're talking about sports betting. Both of you may have seen this show, but I realized I had never done it. And being as I was trying to force myself to not watch that Justice League movie, even though I eventually did do it, we could talk about that another time. I watched the entirety of The Sopranos.
Did you watch the 6-hour one though?
4.5 hours, right? The Snyder one?
Yeah, the Snyder one.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
We'll talk about it another time. I want to talk about The Sopranos first. Did either of you watch that show when it was live?
I did not.
No, because I think I was in high school.
Yeah, we were a little on the young side for it.
Probably.
Yeah, so that was a no. We did not have HBO at that time.
It took the world at that point in time, and I realized being this age now and not having seen it was probably a travesty, considering I say I like movies a lot,
It was very influential for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Have either of you gone back and watched it then?
No, I have not.
Okay. It's just me. Guys, everybody wants to be a gangster.
Oh, speaking of Gangster, there's a football game next to the Dr. Dre, Eminem, and Mary J. Blige concert that's going on this coming weekend. So weird.
I feel like somebody heard that song and they're like, they're right. Let's make a show about that. I don't want to ruin the ending since neither of you have seen it. for you in case you go and watch it. But let's say it was definitely a soap opera at many points in time, but one that had a pretty clear thesis of, yeah, this is what it's like, and people seemed to be getting really into it. So let's make sure they understand that it's not a good thing. There's a lot of interesting storytelling, not a lot of interesting filmmaking, except in very few parts. There's a few episodes where you're like, "Ooh, that's why people do that now." The ending, especially, is something people talk about a lot. So, if we ever want to talk about it in the future,
I am fine with spoiling it because I already know what happens. So, but I don't want to ruin it in case Michael has ambitions.
I'd probably be okay.
Okay. Well. Okay. Spoiler warning: if anybody's going to go watch 6 seasons of The Sopranos, come back in 8 months and listen
20
to this
years
episode.
spoiler warning.
20 years ago. So the last episode cuts to black, Michael, in the middle of a scene.
Okay. Yeah.
And at the time, I guess it was a big deal because people were calling HBO and being like, "My HBO went out." Because it plays black for probably about 2 minutes with no sound.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which now streaming, you can like go through it and be like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" If you didn't know it was coming, I guess, which was like me. And I was like, "Whoa, I kind of assumed this is on purpose here because it's streaming. So let's see how long this goes." And then I looked it up later, and people were like really mad about it, I guess.
I'm sure.
Oh, it was. I remember at the time listening to the radio or whatever while I was driving somewhere and hearing people rant about it. People were super mad. And like, it was a lot of all this like, oh, what does it mean? What was it supposed to be?
It's very clear what it means.
Look, yes. But like, I'm saying that like it was, people were, taking it, and running and like, why did they do this? Why didn't they just show us? And, all this stuff. And it was like, they made a choice, artistic choice.
Yeah. I think they told people the entire time that this was how it's going to end, and people just didn't see it. There's a line in a few episodes before that, which is like, you never see it coming kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think there's like a lot of hints at who killed who and why. And it was interesting that the author or the showrunner / author / director / whatever said years later, like, why did people want to see the ending? What do you want to see? This character's brains splattered across the table, and like you knew what happened. Like, I didn't need to show it. And we talked about how this is probably how it ends if you don't know what's happening around you. So like, why did people need to say? It was interesting to me that they spent 6 seasons of a show at alternating times making you like and hate a person, which really just tells you people are people. Telling people like, this is just how it ends for some people, It's weird considering this day and age, you either have to make a character likable or not likable.
I was going to say the thing that I saw talked about was like, because this show was, before the advent of all this prestige television, and really it took place over such a long time. Like, there was time to give him multiple character arcs instead of just one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where like all TV now, every character has like one arc, maybe, right? Like some don't get any arcs at all. Because of that, like by the time you get to the end, everyone has so many different feelings about these characters from the show that, you don't know how to feel, because people naturally react differently to the multiple different things that have gone on. You have, oh, what about this time or this time or this time or this time? Whereas these days, everyone reacts the same way because all the beats are predicted on this one exact, story arc.
Sure.
And there's one note at the end, and it's always the same for everyone, so that everyone has the same opinion of everything that happens.
Shame.
The article I read said it was a shame, and it's like, a problem or whatever. But I think it's just different ways of making TV and film, and they don't make them this way anymore.
That's what I was getting at a little bit earlier, is that the soap opera-y aspect of it, now you would make something more like Lost, where it's like the mystery is keeping people there, the surprise is keeping people there. Whereas the surprises here were just more like, what? Why did he behave that way? And then 4 or 5 episodes go by and you figure out kind of like he's a person that made a choice. There was no masterminding of a situation like, oh, he was seeing 4 moves ahead. And that's what, that's the way TV is now,
And everything isn't explained because sometimes people just do stuff. Like sometimes people are just people and they make decisions for arbitrary reasons or reasons that aren't explained. Unlike these days where everything is like, the evil villain is the one who was plotting all of the moves. You can see it here, here, and here. In episode 6, they foreshadow it and all this stuff. It's and the entire plan isn't laid out in front of you every time.
Well, and also now that we watch TV, you have to expect any nuanced thing to return. If there's an open-ended thread somewhere, it's got a reason, right? And so there's a very famous episode. The Tim Rogers, I Won't Die Hungry, JJ?
Mm-hmm.
That comes from The Sopranos. From this episode that I'm thinking of where they get stuck in the snow chasing a guy. And at the end of that episode, they never find the dude they're chasing through the snow. And I guess
I was born stupid, but I will not die hungry.
He doesn't. I don't think he says I was born stupid, but he says I ain't gonna die hungry. Gets that. And I know Tim Rogers watches The Sopranos like yearly. Anyway, that's probably an over-exaggeration. Nobody has time for that. They chase the guy through the snow. Is what I was getting at. And you don't ever see what happens to the guy. And so in modern TV, you'd be like, all right, this guy's going to come back and ruin this person's day at the end of the show or something, It's going to be the big reveal is that the guy that got away in the snow was behind it all the entire... Nope.
Never see him again.
Never seen again. Never explained. No background news story of one scene that says that they found a body in the snow. Nothing ever.
Because sometimes that's just how stuff is. Yeah.
And I don't think the guy's a super genius. There's a lot of stuff about the ending of the show where he got really pissy at people for being asking legitimate questions about, oh, well, if this thing did happen, then who was behind it? And people have legit questions. You don't have to get angry about it.
And this was a show that ended as Lost was beginning. And so that change in the culture of needing all this stuff explained was happening. And I think maybe not everyone dealt with it well.
I like shows that try to explain everything. But if you're not going to explain it well or you don't intend to explain it, don't try.
Yeah, I think the important thing is to decide up front, are we going to explain everything or not? And if not, stick to it and say mysteries.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get halfway into deciding you're going to leave people lacking information and then sort of piecemeal stuff out in a kind of haphazard fashion.
Lost is the prototypical example of we're going to explain everything. And then you get the explanation. It's this doesn't explain everything, and B is a bad explanation.
That's the most discussion I was planning to have about this anyway. I just was very taken. I got bored. There were definitely sections of it that I was like, I get why the scene is, and I get why this scene happens every episode. There's subplots about what this stuff does to families, and repeated patterns and all this sort of thing. And it's okay, this has been going on far too long for far too many seasons. I don't need to keep seeing it, which thankfully with streaming, you can kind of pick and choose what you're going to actually watch. Just get through it.
Yeah.
But it was cool to watch an older way of watching TV. So my point was going to be about The Sopranos. You may not have time to watch something like that in its entirety, but go watch old movies and stuff. It would be good, I think, for a lot of people.
I mean, there's a lot of great stuff.
I got to find this article again. A person who talked about watching the old James Bond movies.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming back, to the new ones and being these old movies were so languid and boring in a lot of instances that he was okay, what's gonna happen here? And realizing that oh, I can't I can't have a panning shot where nothing happens. Like I need there to be something going on in every scene all the time.
Mhm.
Or like the two characters can't just stand in a room and talk to each other in a scene. That's not enough anymore. They have to be doing something, going somewhere, or whatever. So it was like an interesting,
Yeah.
the person learning about themselves. Like, oh, my taste has changed. Like I had seen these movies before and thought they were good, and now like I can't deal with it as much.
Interesting. I'll have to take that challenge on at some point. I know there's a lot of Marvel still on our platter, but maybe speaking of Marvel and stick with streaming for a second. Did y'all like that Boba Fett?
Wait, which episode are we talking about?
Are we not caught up?
No.
Okay, never mind. I'm cutting that one off. That was not ruined for anyone. We're good.
That was quick.
JJ, save me.
Yeah.
Here.
What? YouTube? What?
No. Save me. Games.
Oh, video games? Sure. There are video games coming out these days.
This is a big month for them, in fact.
What does that
I haven't
mean?
played any.
I'm out of the loop on news.
Oh, Horizon Forbidden West comes out in a couple of weeks. Elden Ring comes out at the end of the month.
Cool.
I feel like there's something else. There's one more.
There was a Dying Light 2 came out this week or last week.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That like a zombie thing?
That Pokemon Arceus game.
Oh.
Or Arceus or whatever that's
Let
out.
me, I'm going to shout out friend of the pod. Maybe we should have him on. Ryan played that Pokemon Legends Arceus game, and I got a novel of texts about the amount of change. That Pokemon game, JJ, you and I have said in the past, has anything changed since Pokemon Blue?
It's finally happened.
Yeah, I've listened to some other podcasts talk about it because I have no intention of playing it, but I think it is good that they actually changed things.
They rebuilt
happy for them.
Pokemon from the ground up. Things like you can capture them from the things like you can capture Pokemon from the main screen without even fighting them.
Finally,
you can. The battle animations are battle animations. Let's say, like
the Pokemon are in the world with you when they fight. So like
and they fight.
Cast
Yeah,
explosion beam or whatever, and you are too close, you will be exploded.
When they tackle each other, they tackle each other. You can just teach Pokemon things without having to worry about how many moves and all that sort of stuff. It's apparently very good. Okay, sorry.
So my point was I'm not playing that or any of those games, actually. I've been playing Dark Souls 3 again in preparation for probably playing Elden Ring near when that comes out.
Oh.
There is a magical time on the internet when a Souls game comes out and no one knows what is good or how anything works yet.
I see. So you want to play it before that?
That's a lot of fun.
It is nice to be a part of that when and if you can.
I see.
It is fun to be involved in the speculation and also not have people just know the answer, right?
You don't think Fallen Order is a good enough Souls game to get you back in the loop?
I played and beat that already.
I know. Oh, you haven't played Dark Souls 3?
I have. Yeah, I've played and beaten that before as well.
Oh, yeah. So it's the same thing.
Yeah. But I wanted to play a game that is like actually analogous to that.
Made by the people that are making Elden Ring. Yeah.
Yeah. And I realized that I had never actually played the DLC from Dark Souls 3, so I was going to do that.
Oh, bonus content.
Yeah. I mean, it was paid DLC that I paid for.
Sure.
I just never played it for some reason. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, so I've been going through that again. And for folks out there that wonder, I did a Dex build. Got a, was it Lothric?
You mean dexterity?
Right, yes. That's
Okay.
one of the stats. My primary damage stat. I was leveling that up. I did a little bit of pyromancy just because pyromancies are fun. Throwing fire. Cool. Yeah, it's been good. Not like a challenge run or anything, just like a normal playthrough of the game, go through. And I think I'm near the end of the main game now, and I've done one of the 2 DLCs completely. Man, there are some really hard boss fights in those DLCs. Wow.
I think
I think
all
level-
of Dark Souls looks hard to me.
Oh, same here.
If you can beat Fallen Order, you can play Dark Souls. It's not that different.
Yeah, I think
really
we've
is.
discussed this to death, but my like of Star Wars got me through it. You know what I mean?
I think the difficulty in Dark Souls is people thinking, I need to fight every single enemy all the time, when absolutely you do not. It is a correct and valid strategy to just run past stuff. And then B, not knowing all the mechanics. So, like, not knowing how shields work and not knowing how blocking works, and then not managing their stamina right. And that's the game. Learning
So
that is the game.
I found in Fallen Order that I had to fight the enemies. Otherwise, I was not good enough at parrying and dodging and doing all the
Totally
things I
wrong.
was supposed to do.
Ran past tons of stuff in Fallen Order all the time.
I believe that you did. I'm saying that I wasn't good enough with the skills if I didn't fight the enemies to practice them.
Don't even engage, don't lock on, just run straight past. Like, don't stop, don't parry, do nothing, just run.
Well, then how do you
Don't
get good
stop
at
sprinting.
fighting the bosses then?
You go straight to the boss and you fight the boss. Like,
Repeatedly.
the bosses aren't the bosses are the thing. Like, yeah. You, like, the first time through the area, you want to go in and collect all the, like, little items sitting around, or all your little medical upgrades or whatever, all that stuff in Fallen Order.
Well,
But,
Fallen
like,
Order
once
gives you a lot of XP for fighting enemies too.
Totally. But, like, once you've got all the, once you have the most of the upgrades, like, who cares, man? Or once you've fought all the enemies in that area once, and you die on the boss, well, there's no need to fight these enemies again. Just run past straight to the boss. Like, don't interfere with your learning of the boss strategies by fighting 500 stormtroopers in between or whatever. So anyway, I was I think I'm like level 90 or something like that, around there. And I was fighting this boss at the end of the first DLC. The first DLC is called Ashes of Arundel or Arendelle or something like that.
Arendelle.
Arendelle.
I think we've got a problem here.
Just let it go.
I don't think he knows.
No.
I don't know. What am I supposed to know? I don't get it.
Just let it go.
I'm confused. Okay. So I probably died on this boss, like, let's say 80 times.
Oh no.
Died a lot. Yeah, the Sister Freda is the boss. I won't say all, but, like, a lot of Dark Souls bosses do this, like, 2-phase thing. That happened in Fallen Order a couple times, right? Like, you find a boss, and then, like, they
definitely.
die, and then it's like, phase 2, the friend shows up or whatever, right?
Yeah, I would say multiple bosses had that mechanic later in the game. If they didn't have a phase, they definitely had tactics switch on you. So, like, the first quote unquote phase of a fight, they would run around or do something like smash, and then you'd have to switch strategies as they took about half their bar in damage or something.
Yeah. So Freda has a whole health bar. You kill her, and phase 2, she's not. So, like, you have done a whole health bar, a whole boss's worth of fighting. It cuts to a cutscene. Her, like, I don't know what this guy is. Her father or something. A big giant dude with a chair stuck to his back and a huge bowl that shoots fire that he, like, slams on the ground and runs all around the area. Spawns in, and now you're fighting both of them at the same time. Their health bars are both full.
That sounds like a Souls game.
Yeah.
And if you get either one of them down, and then it goes to phase 3 because there has to be a phase 3 now. And again, full health bar again. Sister Freda, you kill whoever. The father disappears, and Sister Freda comes back, and it's all her moves from the first time, except they're way stronger. And she has a whole bunch of new moves that have these, like, black flames shooting out. God, this boss killed me so many times.
So you beat him for the first time in forever?
Yes, her. Yeah, I beat her finally on, like, a 40th try or something. It was like I had just been, like, literally just running in and fighting it over and over and over and over. Now I'm doing the last DLC called The Ringed City. I like that one a lot. It's really interesting. This is like a way bigger DLC, it feels like, than the Ashes one. There's, like, more zones. I fought more bosses. Like, Frida was the only real, like, major boss of that DLC, I think. Like, there were some other ones, but they were, like, small comparatively.
Do they change anything in the new zones? Like, is this one in summer or?
These are both completely new areas from the game, like, not places you'd ever been before. Like, one of them was inside a painting, and this other one is in a new area you've never been to before.
That's cool.
Like you get picked up by little winged demons and they fly you out here.
I don't think it's a good thing to get picked up by demons.
You know, it's not the only time that's
Arendelle.
happened in a Dark Souls game, so yeah. But it's been really cool so far. I've been running around doing quests, and like, of course, they all have new items and new weapons and stuff to play around with if you want. But again, also, I fight the enemies one time. It's like, all right, I get the idea of this. I just kind of want to go on to the new stuff now. So when I die, I just run past the areas I fought already and move on to the next thing that I haven't fought yet. Because like otherwise, you'll be there for like hours. Like some of these enemies are very long and frustrating to kill. And it's just like, the correct answer is just run around the left side of this pillar while he's on the right and just like do the loop. And now I'm off down the corridor and he can't catch me.
I know people were wondering if we would be talking about Inscryption 3, Act 3 today. I'm sure we will, but we're going to get a little extra time before we talk about it, just in case people haven't finished yet, because it's an easy game to play. I will say, Michael, the how long to beat was 13 hours. I finished it in 13 hours, 13.1 hours, and I did as much as I physically think I could do without like a guide telling me exactly what I missed or whatever. I think I ended up missing 4 achievements, 2 of which were hidden. And so I don't
say 2 of the ones you missed you had to do in the cabin the first time, and so there was no way you were going to get those.
Yeah,
The other
and then
ones are,
2 of the
really annoying.
I think 2 of them, of the other 2 that I missed, one was like, okay, well, I would never have done that ever if I was just playing this game and didn't know it was an achievement.
Right.
It
is not.
I will say this
as long as the first act. So
no, I will say this though, the Ouroboros, you guys.
Huh?
Did I not tell you, Andrew?
little bit broken.
We
Michael?
talked about it in yeah.
It keeps its stats between acts.
Yes, I have heard.
Michael, it keeps its stats.
This is something you would have known if you used it in Act 1.
I didn't.
And then used it in Act 2 and saw that the stats
I
stayed.
definitely used it in Act 2 against the target dummy to get foils to then complete the collection.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Nice.
And I just kept sacrificing it and replaying it. And so Act 3, let's say,
it went real quick.
The win card. There's a weird mechanic in Act 3 that keeps you from creating a murderous deck like you can in Act 2. Not a mechanic, I guess, but the way that Act 3 is structured keeps you from murdering the computer with your cards.
Yeah. You eventually get there, but it's a slower burn.
Yeah. But yeah, the Ouroboros, man. Woo-hoo-hoo. Wish I'd have known. But again, no guide, so I was just like, yeah, that card seems all right. I don't want to say the other things on my list. Very good idea to make games that length, I think.
You're welcome for me forcing you guys to play it.
Yes.
Yes.
More next time. In the meantime, youtube.com, search We Were Gamers. Go watch the there's a special episode that came out on Monday, and I enjoyed. There's a little fun little thing I did on the YouTube in the first minute, and it cracks me up, and I want you to laugh. So go watch it there.
I saw it, and it is indeed very good.
It makes, I don't know that it's very good, but it makes me laugh. But I've done a thing where I've decided to like upgrade some version of the graphics a little bit each week. So this week I finally figured out how to kern the squares inside of the yellow square and stuff like, I don't have a lot of time, but I do have enough time to figure out a little bit more each week, relearn, I guess. But other than that, if you want to get your thoughts in on Inscryption Act 3, JJ,
you can send those to podcast@weweregamers.com. We will check those out, so please send that stuff in. Additionally, if you have thoughts on our food crime rules, we're always interested in those. Still, podcast@weweregamers on those. Or you can send that to us on social media. We're at We Were Gamers on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Check us out all those places.
Yeah, if you win that Hormel keg, definitely send us a picture.
Yeah.
I also maybe go see a doctor.
Yeah, do that first.
Yeah. Is your heart healthy enough for this much cheese?
No. The answer for everyone on the planet is no.
No.
Oh. And until next week, just remember that love is an open door, everybody. I still don't think you got it.
No.
I don't. Am I supposed to?
I got at least 4 in there.
What are we?
Arendelle is the name of the city in Frozen.
Okay. Yeah. That's definitely one I would never get. No chance I was ever going to find that. Unless you literally said let it go, then maybe I might have.
We did twice.
Oh, see, totally not even.
And then I started using song titles to ask you questions.
You see, you assume that I've seen this more than once and remember any song from there. Like,
No, but it was very funny to me because they made sense.
I'm glad that I provided everyone with meta humor there. You're welcome. My obliviousness is a gift.
Finish that inscription.
Yes,
because,
I know.
No, don't like rush or anything, but
No. But
it's just
definitely
like,
high on my list.
whoa, the ending is interesting.
Yeah, because I'm close.
I could see why he likes the front end of the game more.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly,
like Act 1 better than Act 2.
if Act 3 were as carefully designed, and we could talk about that, as Act 1, I think I would like it more than Act 1.
Okay.
But you're close. If you're there, you could finish it in a couple hours.
Yeah. Like I don't think it'll be long for me to finish from where I am.
I could tell you exactly how long it took me because I recorded my playthrough of the entire game.
Oh,